What up, dogs? I'm Underdog, and this is gonna be a little bit different of a video. A few minutes ago, I realized that it'd probably be a good idea to record, to discuss and go over how these new adjustments are going to affect me personally, or the player base in general. And I do want to start doing videos like this. I'm going to be, try to grow my channel and interact with the community as much as possible. It is not even 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm trying to be quiet because there are people sleeping. Okay, so this came out yesterday morning, literally less than 24 hours ago. People have already talked about it. I've already discussed it with a couple people on Reddit, but I'm just going to go ahead and break it down, from my perspective. So I'm not going to be very largely affected by this crisis nerf. And I'm not sure exactly if that's a huge nerf at all. It seems like is in fact a nerf, but I'm not sure about 0.1 points or a tenth of a point is gonna affect anything because I really don't know that much about the crisis. The links I encounter actually all the time, so this could affect me. Simply because it would make it easier to fight, it seems like. So durability, the force field durability is decreased by 40%, which is a big chunk. Because what is it, like 900,000, or is that the nether? I can't remember which one is which. Blade duration is decreased by 2 seconds. Now the ability to cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds, so that's actually a nerf. I mean, that's actually a buff. So you got two nerfs and a buff to the links. I think that it's going to make them a little bit easier to fight. They're not very easy to fight right now, only because they make them so tanky. But yeah, that should probably make them easier to fight for me specifically, and obviously everyone else. Now the nether is also 40% increase. Recharge time is 2% increase, 2-second increase. And they decrease the speed, movement speed, so that will make nethers easier to fight, even though they're not that powerful to begin with. It's kind of their dashes that mess it up, because if I can corner shoot, then I can take out another. But if I don't have ample cover, then they can take me out pretty easily. The angler is kind of annoying. All these bots are annoying, but the angler specifically is only really annoying because everyone has them. I would say that the bot itself is the most annoying. The ability is annoying, but I was actually having the same discussion with one of the people on Reddit, that just because something's annoying doesn't mean it needs to be nerfed and whatnot. And these bots have been, from what they were saying, these bots have been nerfed a few times, and now they're going to be even worse. But I have no idea about that because I've been out of the game for a long time. I've only been back for about a month so far, so I'm trying to catch up on everything I've missed. Angler is gonna be a little bit slower now during its its electric shift, and it's gonna be a little bit slower in general in durability, but the durability is increased, so that'll make it harder for them to blind me, but it will give them a little bit more a little bit more durability to deal with, which is not that big a deal. It is 15%, which sounds like a large chunk, but at the same time, I find when I actually get a chance to shoot at their physical shields, they don't usually last that long. So yeah, the Mars movement speed is going to be reduced during its remote assault ability, which I'm not sure that's going to affect very much, simply because most of the time it's the assault that kills me anyway. Each durability is decreased by 20%. That's good for me because my punishers, as much as I love them, have a hell of a time getting through the Aegis. By the time I end up getting to that Aegis shield, if if it's one-on-one combat with not a lot of cover, then I'm dead by the time I get down to that. I get that E just depleted anyway, so that will be a big help for me, even though everyone else is saying that it didn't need another nerf. Also decreased by 15%, so maybe I will stand a bit of a better chance against Mars. The Seraph robot, Seraphs, I wouldn't say that Seraphs are that annoying. I think they're a very fun robot to play against and also play. It seems like it'd be fun to play, and in terms of playing against them, I would say that they're mostly difficult or annoying. They can hit multiple targets at the same time, and it's annoying when you kind of get targeted by them unknowingly or don't have any way to escape. But at the same time, you can just really wait out their ability if you know what you're doing. So everyone is kind of complaining about that. So it's going to be just a little bit slower when it's flying. It's going to have less durability for its force field, and actual durability it's going to be even less. So now that's being nerfed again. I'm not sure. I feel like they're already fairly easy to deal with, even with just my Cossacks. If I have time to prepare, so that will probably make them even easier to deal with. If I start killing Seraphs left and right, then there's going to be obviously a big difference. Let me give a drink of water real quick. There's a lot to go over in this video, so I'm going to be talking a lot. Alright. So, the Leech is getting just the slightest bit of a buff. Ability cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. I don't think it's going to affect very much. I don't see a lot of leeches being played nowadays anyway, so I don't think I'm even going to notice, to be honest. I've not seen a leech on the battlefield in a long time. I don't think I've seen it the entire month that I've been back on the field. Demeter, durability. I actually have seen the Demeter pretty often. Seems like every other match there's probably at least one Demeter. Percent increase to the durability will help a little bit. Not sure how it's gonna make that much difference, but just a slight bit, I guess. Now the Revenant, I have noticed that the Revenants is when I do get to see them, the Revenant side shield is fairly weak, so that will put just a little bit. It'll take just a little bit longer for me to be able to cut through them. The Aljun is getting damage buff to its built-in weapon. That sucks. Not for the reason you think it would. Okay, so it's 15% increase, and that's fine and all. That'd be great. But the thing is, no one uses Aljun anymore to begin with, and this 15% buff to its built-in weapon damage is not gonna persuade anyone to go back to it again. It's hard to hit anybody with the built-in flamethrowers to begin with, so basically you're putting extra damage into something that's not going to be, dealing damage to begin with. Alright, next the Phantom. So it gets 45% more burst. It gets 10% more resistance, or 30 more defense points. Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of people running Phantom. I don't know if I've seen it. Maybe a couple times I've seen it. But I don't think that's going to make a whole lot of difference, to be honest. Because no one's running them anyway. Kudos to anyone who is, I guess. Alright, so now we're moving on to the Titans and what they're fooling around with them. Okay, so the Rook, which is, from what I hear, it's the bee's knees. One of the best Titans in the game at the moment. I haven't actually seen any. I think I might have seen like one so far, and I don't remember it being that powerful. Only because I have no comparison because I'm not in champ leagues. I'm only in gold, but So everyone's this isn't obviously a nerf. Um, this is, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough of a nerf to make a big difference. I think the Rook will still be pretty meta until they introduce whatever the heck is next. I mean, well, they do have the Newton now, but I don't think that it's going. I don't think the Rook is going to be that different, that affected. Definitely not going to affect me very much because I'm not using one and I don't see them very often. Not down here in Gold League anyway. The Indra is one that I do see pretty often. It's pretty. I wouldn't say it's that powerful. Like, I think it's supposed to be powerful, but the ones I see are probably usually pretty low level. So the only annoying thing is when they do that phase shift type thing. So the cooldown is increased by 2 extra seconds. That's going to make it slightly weaker, obviously. And the duration, but the duration for the ability is increased by a couple extra seconds. So that's 5 whole seconds that you won't be able to shoot at this thing. Kind of a bit absurd if you ask me. I feel like 5 seconds is a little bit long because a lot can happen in 5 seconds. You can have your entire bot taken out in 5 seconds. Especially a Titan, or sometimes a Titan, depending on which one. I'm running my kid, even maxed out. It can be taken down by like Ivors and whatnot. Now the Luchador is definitely getting nerfs. I don't. 25 seconds seems like a long time for a cooldown ability on a Titan. I would say Luchadors are very annoying. I think they're pretty balanced. They're definitely tanky, but I usually enjoy fighting them more often than not. I do come out the winner between my maxed kid and any luchador that I fight. So this is just gonna make it easier on me, I guess. But like, I just think it's dumb. I don't know if they needed to change that at all. I think it was good the way it was. And of course, the ultimate defense lasts a couple seconds longer. I'm not sure that's going to really make a much difference. A lot can happen in 2 seconds if you think about it, but not really. Then the Sirius got a bonus to movement speed for deploying a turret, and the durability is increased. So those both are obviously buffs, but the Sirius sucks to begin with. So I don't think that that's going to really make a big difference. The reason why the Sirius sucks is because it's got no resistance. It's basically just a big target, a big meat mag. So I don't think that's gonna really do anything. If anything, the increased speed will actually. I mean, you could argue that increased speed could help it escape, but I don't think so. I don't think this Sirius thing is gonna make any difference. If anything, is just gonna give the damage dealers more of a target to shoot. The Heimdall is going to get a bigger damage bonus in attack mode and get durability increased and physical shield durability increased. Now, I am actually looking forward to eventually using a Heimdall myself. I just think it's really, really cool. I think that I just think it's really cool because it's supposed to be the Titan version of the Norse pantheon, the Norse god pantheon. You know, the Loki, the Tyr, and then the Fenrir. I just think it's really cool. I wanted to use it myself, so that actually kind of makes me a little bit happy. So it doesn't affect me right here in this moment right now, but along down the line, it will, help me in the long run. All right. So here are the adjustments to the robot weapons. The Reaper, they are increasing the reload time to by 4 seconds, and that can make quite a big difference. 12 seconds is also the reload time on spirals. So that means that basically will be even anyone who was trying to snipe me with a Reaper, which I haven't actually seen a whole lot yet, maybe because I'm down in Gold League, but I haven't actually seen a whole lot of Reapers yet. that means that basically we'll be on a even playing field if someone tries to snipe me with Reapers. That means that every time they have a shot, I'll probably have a shot too. Rather than them being able to shoot me 4 seconds faster. The needle spike and the stake. So these, I think I've heard people calling these the melee weapons, which makes sense, I guess. So they're gonna be a little. Someone was saying that they're gonna be a little less bursty, which makes makes sense. Or maybe they might be taking about another weapon, but anyway, that's pretty much accurate. And the Aegis durability is gonna be increased. That's cool because I actually am gonna end up them not being as bursty is obviously nerf, but the Aegis durability is a buff. So I will be eventually using needles on my destroyers and then spikes on Cossack, and then obviously a stake eventually on some other bots like Schutz or something. So that will be interesting to see how much Aegis durability I'm going to be able to get out of those once they're maxed. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to pronounce these because I have never actually tried to pronounce these. The Tasia, the Yoja, and the Huangji. I wanted to say it was pronounced Hwangi, but Huangji. Heard people call them the K lasers because they're supposed to be Korean. So the K lasers getting a damage decrease by 30%, but the effective distance is increased to 1100% to 1100 meters. This will actually affect me pretty heavily because I am pretty tired of getting shot up by these guys now. It seems like every time every time a sniper weapon is introduced to the game, everyone gets a hold of them, and I always get sniped. So anyone who's using these things, that's what you get. Like, just jokes here. But yeah, 30% is a big chunk. That's literally almost a third of the damage. I feel like they still might be fairly effective, but at least like I won't be immediately just mowed down by them as soon as I hop out of spawn. Although the 1100 meters is going to be, kind of messy because I don't really want to be shot by somebody that's sitting on C beacon on Springfield. Yeah, Springfield. Imagine they're sitting on C beacon. No, not C beacon. Well, whatever that one in the back is, I think it's B maybe. But they shoot me all the way across the map. That would not be fun, but we'll find out. Okay, so the spear, for people complaining about this, that they just keep nerfing this thing so we can't use it. I don't know why they needed to change this thing. I haven't seen the spear that much. I assume it's probably because it keeps getting nerfed, like everyone keeps saying. I don't know why they needed to do this. Why 1.3, 1.9? Like, if you're going to do that, it'd make more sense to just do 1.1, 1.5, and then 2. Like, that's just silly. Like I said, I haven't seen a lot of these because no one's using them, I guess, anymore. I have seen some of people running them on nethers. That's about it. Not going to affect me very much. Now when I start using them myself, I'm not gonna notice a difference because I haven't used them before. The only way I'd be able to use them if I was hop on a test server before they change them, but that's probably not gonna happen. All right, the fainter, something I also have not seen a lot. The reload interval is 2 to 3 seconds. I'm not exactly sure how effective the fainter is to begin with. But I'm pretty sure everyone's saying that increase by 1 second is going to make it even weaker significantly, but I'm not sure. The cudgel is having its damage decreased by 5%. Not sure how that's going to make much difference. I don't see a lot of cudgels anymore, or rather, it's hard to pay attention because I will occasionally see someone who does have the blast charge shotguns. I guess that's what you call them. I don't remember, but I know what they are. It's just I'm not really paying attention to whether they're using the cudgel or the hammer or the mace or whatever, which one it is. Not gonna really affect me that much. If anything, it will just make it easier for me to fight against them. Now the glory. The glory is obviously the heavy lockdown shotgun. Been looking forward to using it for a long time. Haven't used it yet, but apparently it is being nerfed. People are. I would say I would complain alongside everybody else, but I haven't used them, so I'm not sure. I think it's been almost 21 minutes, but it is a discussion video, so I would complain alongside with everyone else, but I haven't used them, so I have no reference. I haven't reference to know how big of a nerf that's going to be, because technically that is a third of the shots being reduced, so that seems like it's going to suck. I don't know if the glory needed a nerf, because I don't even see people using it a lot, so I'm not sure. I mean, like, it could be still used meta if you know what you're doing, but I don't see it a lot, so that nerf seems unwarranted. Now let me try to pronounce this. So my first attempt to pronounce them was probably more like the sneer, the Scotty, and the hell. But I've heard people pronounce them like the snire, the skatey, and the hell. So the ammo capacity is increased. I think supposedly these have been nerfed in the past. I wasn't here for that, but I don't know. That seems like it would help, but I'm not sure. They're I wouldn't say that they're annoying, but it is certainly irritating to like be trying to get across the map and all of a sudden you're being shot in the back by a Fafnir with four skatey equipped on it. I will end up using them myself, so that will be fun, I guess. Now the Sting. Oh my God, this could be so much more powerful. The Sting. Wow, I'm. Who cares? Who cares about the Sting at this point? Like, the Sting is such a. Even when it first came out, the Sting was. The Sting was basically a joke when it first came out. Like, when it first came out, it did a decent amount of damage only because it was new to the game. If you supercharged it, but nowadays the Sting is just so weak. Like, you just shoot like a little freaking pea shooter worth of bullet. You just shoot a couple pea shooter bullets, and even maxed out, I'm not sure it would do all that much. So this being increased by one shot. Oh wow, that's such a big difference. What's that really gonna do? Now, I mean, obviously I'm gonna be excited to use them myself, but I'm not acting like they're about to be meta anymore. Especially not like, if you're gonna try to really buff it, why would you give it only 6? A buff would need more like 10. So the next is Volt. Actually, I don't know that I've seen anyone using Volt specifically, but I know what the Volt is. It's one of the kinetic railguns. So I think that they already do quite a bit of damage to begin with. So an increased percent I'm not sure how powerful the Volt is, but a 5% increase to a weapon that's probably already fairly powerful. I don't know. Someone could tell me whether the Volt is actually deserving of a buff right now, if it was already weak to begin with. Alright. Next is the Scourge. I actually do have a Scourge. Equipped on one of my Cossacks. So this will affect me pretty directly. Okay, so the shot interval is reduced by 100th of a second. I'm not sure what they mean by shot interval. Like, after I unload the magazine, it's not even going to take 1 second to reload it again. Yeah. So, but the time to empty the magazine is decreased. That means, okay, so not even by a whole second, like 90th of a second. Hold on, 90% of a second. I meant, um, well, I guess that would be the same thing. Uh, that sucks. Somehow it's gonna stop firing basically one almost 1 second sooner than it does now. I don't think that's gonna make much difference. Um, I do love my Scourge. It used to be pretty powerful back in the day. I literally got 17 kills in one match, I think, because I had it on a Cossack for no less. So that kind of sucks just a little bit. Not sure if it's gonna make that much difference though. Now the Shock Train is getting another buff. I say another buff because I think I distinctly remember that it got it buffed sometime when I was last in the game. 8% increase in damage. Now this is absurd. Not because it's 8% that it's gonna make much difference. I don't think it really will that much. But when the Shock Train is one of the weapons in the game that was broken when it first came out. Absolutely broken. It was just such a problem that they literally had to nerf it. Like there was no way anyone was going to enjoy the game anymore when someone could just jump up from 500 meters and shoot you with a Spectre Shock Train and just take out, more than half your bot plus, you know, three other teammates that just happen to be right next to you. Um, but they nerfed it to the ground to where it's not even usable anymore. And then they buffed it, I guess, because they felt bad. I don't know. And now they're buffing it again. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be viable again. But I don't know. I guess if I was using it, I'd be happy. But it's whatever. I don't know how much difference it's actually going to make, but we'll find out. Because I don't see a lot of people using them. Exodus is another weapon I don't see a lot of people using, so anyone who is affected by this, I am very sorry. Exodus. So the reload interval is slightly shorter. That makes it just a little bit burstier. Time to fully reload is 2 seconds shorter, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Can't imagine what weapons I'm actually gonna be using this Exodus on anytime soon. I mean, I probably will use one on like a Schütz, but like something that can actually do some damage, like a Bulwark. Alright, so next is the Rime, the Cryo, and the Glacier, getting a 5% buff on each one of those weapons. That seems fair, because I don't think that they're weak, but they're definitely not meta anymore, simply because of all this stuff. Any sort of rocket weapon, I feel like, is kind of counteracted if you don't have enough firepower to shoot through all the Aegis shields everyone is running. Then rockets really don't do you a lot of good, because once you run out of that burst, then you're just slowly pelting them with tiny rockets that aren't going to do anything. So hopefully that I will be running Rimes. I say in the somewhat near future on my desters, so we'll figure out how that's going to work. All right, next, I think this is the last part. Yeah, this is the last part, so the video is just about the end. It's already 30 minutes, well, but yeah. So these ones, these ones, not a word my mom always says. So you got the Oxy and the Argon. I actually did get an Argon from the special delivery for the event the other day. So this will affect me. Shot interval. Well, when I actually get to use it, I test it out on my. I guess I could test it out on my kit if I wanted to, but all right. So, a 60th of a second. Yeah, something like that. I feel like it's gonna be a pretty big difference because like I thought it was kind of like the heavy version of the cryo weapons. I mean the type version of cryo weapons. So I'm not sure how that's gonna do. Whatever. Um, it seems like it'd make him a little bit weak. It probably make it weaker, but who knows? All right, now the ones that everyone is complaining about, or at least the ones that are using him, of course. But I don't know if I should be happy about it because I don't really want to be happy based off that everyone else hates it. But on the one hand, they're annoying. They're really annoying because they are really powerful. Um, so nanoparticles per shot is reduced to 2 from 3. Um, particle dispersion is increased by 4%. So it means that um, the particle dispersion increased by 14%. So it means it spreads further. So you would want to be closer in order to do the most damage. Um, you would want to be closer to do as much damage as possible, and you'd probably end up doing more of your particles would hit if you're hitting a bigger target like a Titan than it would a small bot. Um, and the damage increased by 10%. So hold on, that's more of a hold on what? Okay, so obviously I think that's to counteract technically the other two that are somewhat like the amount of particles being reduced to 2 is a nerf, but the particle dispersion increased is it's not really a buff or a nerf. It's kind of just like a side grade. Like it doesn't really make it. It makes it weaker for certain applications, but it also makes it stronger for certain applications. So like if you wanted to, like if you're trying to fire at a little bot that's running around real fast, it's not going to do that great. But let's say you have it maxed out and you're trying to shoot it like two different titans at the same time that don't have resistance or something, then that'd be kind of be helpful to me, or at least that's how I'm processing in my mind. I'm not sure if that's correct. This is move on to the next weapon. So, the Cyclone and the Cataclysm. I do have these weapons, and they're just going to be increased by 10%. So that's coolio. I'm not using them at the moment. Might start using them on my Arthur, simply because, just to have something else to play with. And last but not least, they are buffing the Striker. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares about the Striker? No one's using it anyway. I have not as much as so basically the Striker is the Titan version of the Shock Train. Um, when I first heard that this weapon was coming out, I don't remember if I heard about it coming out before I left for a while or not. But when I first heard about this weapon, I thought it was going to be a game breaker. Now, anyone who's actually seen everything that's gone on with the Striker, let me know. But when I first heard about the Striker coming to the game, I thought it was going to be a game breaker because when the Shock Train first came to the game, it was ludicrous how powerful it was. So I thought the Striker was just going to be like 10 times worse. Um, like I said, I don't know. I don't think I've even encountered it, but maybe once in ever. I don't think anyone's even really using it, which makes me think that it sucks. So 5% increase, probably not gonna make that much difference. Yeah. So I mean, to me, it seems like a fun thing to build, but if it sucks, you know, what you gonna do? 5% doesn't sound like a big deal. If it needs to be buffed, then 5% probably is not that big a deal. That'd be like if I increased the Punisher damage by 5%. Like, yeah, it's a 5% damage increase, but who's gonna notice? I mean, I'm gonna notice, but you get my point. All right. So, for the most part, none of these are gonna really affect me. But I thought I would go over them anyway, um, to let you know how I feel and how the community feels about them. Let you know how you feel about them if there's anyone watching this video. And this is the end of the video. How long was this? 35 minutes. I don't think this is my longest video. I don't remember yet. But yeah. So, underdog. Oh.